You're very welcome along to Cappoquin here, which is an absolutely drenched afternoon, it must be said. Beside me today I have Eddie McGrath, of course. Eddie involved with Brickey's. Eddie, the conditions not great here for this intermediate county final today.
No, Seamus, definitely not. And these two would have met very early in the championship in August, in early August, and in much different conditions up in Lismore. It was a stifling hot day up there, and it was actually the weekend that they reintroduced the water breaks. That'll tell you what the weather was like at that time of the year. So definitely different conditions, and I'd say looking at the ground, it's fairly heavy here. There's a stiff enough breeze here as well as you look onto the field. So I say it could certainly be a much different occasion than it was that first day.
Indeed, especially with the conditions trying, as we said. As we just go through the teams, Brickey's, of course, first, they're wearing a white strip this afternoon. Number 1 is Caitlin Gardner, number 2 Una McGrath, 3 Beth Gardner, and number 4 Aoife Corwin. To the half back line, number 5 is Emma Power, 6 is Darina Shanley, and 7 is Emily Murphy. And in the middle of the field sees number 8 Caoimhe Prendergast and number 9 Anya O'Neill. And to the half forward line, number 10 Ellen Corwin, number 11 Kate McGrath, 12 Siobhan Lennon, and of course the inside full forward line, Eve Dwyer wears 13, 14 is Kelly Tracy, and 15 Emer O'Neill. With your own involvement with Brickey's, who would be the players you'd highlight today, Eddie, on that Brickey side?
Yeah, well, James, first of all, I suppose 2 years ago this Brickey team were in the junior championship in Waterford, and they played a junior final in the middle of the lockdowns, in COVID lockdowns, where there was only 50 people allowed at games. This is a very young team. The average age of the squad is 21, so they are a very young side. Just from my own involvement with the club, I've picked out a couple of players to just mention. Caitlin Gardner in goal is the under-16 and minor county goalkeeper. Caitlin is a very solid keeper, very reliable and superb with her puck outs. Her distribution is excellent. Another young player at the other end of the team is Emer O'Neill, another under-16. She's their top scorer this year in the championship with 4 goals and 54 points in the 5 championship games, so she's certainly one to look out for. Sometimes she ends up having 2 opposition players minding her, if you get me. Just one more, I suppose, keep an eye out for Kelly Tracy. She's the captain of the team. She hails originally from the famous Young Ireland's club in Kilkenny. Her 2 first cousins, Steffi and Tiffany Fitzgerald, would have been key members of the All-Ireland winning Kilkenny team this year. And I'm sure if they're not here supporting her, they're watching or tuning in online and wishing on Kelly and her teammates.
Brilliant, Eddie. And looking across to the Lismore team, on goal, number 1 Tanya Marcy, 2 Rachel Mangan, 3 Shauna Prendergast, 4 Clodagh Cummins. To the half back line, number 5 is Isabella O'Rourke, 6 Marie Russell, and 7 Kate Hennigan. And to the middle of the field, number 8 Katie Marr, and a late change, number 24 Shannon O'Keefe replaces the influential number 9 Shona Curran. To the half forward line, number 10 Clodagh Landers, 11 Nicola Marcy, 12 Abby Roach, and full forward line sees 13 Emily O'Sullivan, 14 Katrina McGlone, and 15 Sinead Welch. And just a quick mention to some people watching abroad, of course, for Brickey's, there's Hannah O'Connell in Chicago today watching, and a video sent out of 2 twins, Ellie and Leah McGrath, at 6 o'clock this morning was sent across in their Brickey's colours. And of course Aisling and Niamh McGrath, of course, watching as well over in Australia. So if they're tuning in, say hello to both of them. Just as we get underway here, Gavin, of course, is in the middle of the field. Gavin Whelan from Colligan. As the rain is pouring down here, there's a crowd over on the far bank, starting a lot of umbrellas, as we can see. As we said, Eddie, that rain is getting heavier and heavier, and it is notable that both goals do have AstroTurf on them, and that could play a factor with a wet ball coming in this afternoon.
Certainly could, Seamus. That ball will bounce, and it'll bounce fairly quick up off that AstroTurf. It's very slippy here, it's very wet. It'll be interesting to see how both teams settle down early on with these conditions.
And just as we say that, it's underway and the ball is thrown in by Gavin, and straight away Brickey's are on the attack, and a ball on the stick straight away for Katie Marr. She flicks it inside to Nicola Marcy. Nicola gets it back, plays it into the wing forward, Ellen Corwin, wearing 10 on her back. Has she got a player inside her? She flicks it inside, but hold up just there for a moment, and the referee says that's a free, and it's going to be a free out for Lismore just below the 45. And just where the free's been taken, Eddie, we can see the pitch already looks very heavy out there.
Yeah, it's already digging up a little bit there. You know, the Brickey's kind of had good possession there, and a few good hand passes got them into space, but just caught for the throw ball there.
as this ball is played down the line and coming out to try secure this one first time. As we say, the conditions are very trying here as Emily O'Sullivan tries to gather it. She's just along the byline here, but pressure being put on there by Dara Shanley as the ball is played across into middle. Can Lismore get this one? Brickies have plenty of bodies back here. Ball is flicked inside to Emily O'Sullivan again. Is she able to gather this one? Brilliant defending there, coming across from the cornerback Eva Corwin there, but a ball is worked out to the full forward. Catherine McGlone, can she get a ball across? Brilliant flick coming in there from Brickies. As I just said, players starting to lose their footing straight away earlier on here as the rain is bucketing down here in Cappoquin, but looks like Brickies are going to come away with this one as that clearance has just gone out over the line, so going to be a line ball to Lismore. As we can see, Eddie, early on, very hard to get possession here with the conditions.
Yeah, and even harder to hold on to it. I mean, like Caoimhe Prendergast there in midfield for the Brickies would normally have a great strike of the ball, but just slipped off for Hurley just when she hit it, and a sideline ball here to Lismore.
Down on the corner of the 21 on the right hand side, of course, the opposite end of the scoreboard as this sideline is about to be taken. This ball is cut in first time. Brilliant catch there from the midfielder, getting a strike away, but looks like Kate Mars is just going to drop short, and of course that's into Caitlin Gardner, great striker of the ball with Waterford under 16 and the Waterford minor team. She's certainly one to look out for the future as Lismore go on attack. A short ball is played inside, but coming out to this one, brilliant defending from Una McGrath. Una plays it down the line, coming across to try gather possession now is Kate McGrath, of course the namesake of the McGraths there, but looks like Lismore might be able to gather possession here just out around the middle of the field. A little bit of stalemate here. As we said, conditions are very, very trying here, and it's interesting to note that early on in these stages it looks like Brickies have brought out a player or two. I can see, of course, Eva Dwyer is out wearing 13 around the middle of the field. Is that a tactic to try create space inside, Eddie?
Yeah, and it's a tactic that the Brickies haven't been shy about using all year, to be honest with you, Seamus. It's trying to leave space in there for their probably two biggest scoring forwards in Emer and Kelly Tracy. And Eve Dwyer is a very industrial kind of player. She'll get stuck in and win dirty balls, so it makes sense, especially in this kind of weather, to do that.
And Bricky's back on the attack here after a ball was thrown in by Gavin Whelan as this one is played out. Brilliant catch there first time, and taking this one on is Kate McGrath. Can she get the opening score? She can indeed. 3 minutes in, opening score from Bricky's coming from Kate McGrath. First point from play. She took that ball just aside the 45 and split the post. Great start for Bricky's, Eddie.
Yeah, and it was a well-won ball by Anya O'Neill, Emer's older sister here in the middle of the field, and she just looked for space, saw Kate in space. And Kate McGrath, I suppose her pace is one of her biggest attributes, and it's going to be hard to stop her when she's running at you like that.
Lismore restart with a Shauna Prendergast puck out. This one is driven down into the middle of the field, trying to battle for possession, but losing her footing on that occasion. It was Abby Roach, but can she gather it again? Just as she goes to, she tries to get help from Kate Hennigan, her wing back, but must said Brickies have 4 or 5 bodies there around the ball as they work this one out. And on this occasion, Caoimhe Prendergast is fouled. Great work there from the midfielder. So going to be a free here, just in the middle of the pitch, and coming across to take this one is the lady who got that first score there, Kate McGrath, of course, on 3 minutes in. So Bricky's 1 score to no score, a point here, and in very trying conditions, it must be said, in Cappoquin, as this one is slices off the hurley there of Nicola McGrath, but straight away this one comes down. Who can gather possession? It's Bricky's again, but it looks like they've just lost it there on a vital occasion, and the midfielder there, Kate Marr, just doing very well to secure possession, and Gavin Whelan says that the arm came in around, so a free there. But we're going to say it a lot here this afternoon, Eddie. The conditions are really trying. Yeah. We see players slipping all over the place.
Yeah, it's very tough conditions for them. Just to note that Caoimhe Prendergast midfield for the Brickey seems to be heavily involved in these early stages, and Caoimhe's dad is actually a Lismore man, so I don't know what colours he's wearing. He'll be wearing black and amber today, but which black and amber, I don't know.
It's the great rivalries, and I suppose the family connections that are in GAA, I suppose. But back on the ball here as Bricky's come out with this one. Can they manage to gather this one up? They do indeed, and it's Anya O'Neill who has this. She's soloing away. Can she get a strike? She looks for a player outside her. Can she spray it across? She does exactly that. And this one is coming across to Kate McGrath. Oh, Kate's just dispossessed, just as I say it though, by Isabella O'Rourke. Great defending there from Lismore, but again, Brickies are trying to mount an attack here as Eve Dwyer, the industrious Eve Dwyer, tries to secure possession, but the rain is getting heavier and heavier here in Cappoquin as Eve flicks this one ahead of herself. Can she gather possession? She does very well. Loses her stick, plays it across into the middle to Kate McGrath. This would be a great strike. but it's just going to drop to the left and wide. And it must be said, it was the right option there, I think, from Eve flicking it out to Kate and Kate taking the shot, but the conditions again making it very hard to score from distance, Eddie.
Yeah, if anything, it seems to be getting worse, to be honest with you, Seamus. But you can see the Brickey seem to be getting control around the middle of the field, which is probably going to be really important on a day like today. And Kate McGrath's getting free very easily as well. She's after winning 3 or 4 balls and nobody contesting them. So I think Lismore need to tighten up around the centre back here.
Yeah, it looks like Marie Russell doesn't seem to be picking her up or as close as possible. But anyway, back with the action. Lismore have a free here just on the 45 over on that far left-hand side as this ball is played down the wing and into the corner. Who can secure possession on this occasion? Looks like Brickeys are going to come away with it again. Ball flicked back to the centre back. Dara Shanley, she drives it long. Who's going to get onto this one? It is Caoimhe Prendergast, as we mentioned earlier, involved in a lot of possession as this ball is played inside and tries to get a strike away from a very tricky angle, but unfortunately that one from... It's actually gone over, to be fair. The umpire wasn't putting up the flag, he was just putting up his arm, but a great score there coming from Kelly Tracy. As
Emer O'Neill, I think.
Or Emer O'Neill, I must say the conditions are making it very hard here, Eddie.
The paper is fairly soggy at this stage now.
It's hard to see the names below us. We'll do our best for you folks, but it is absolutely pouring down here in Cappoquin, it must be said, this afternoon, as we're going to start with a Shauna Prendergast puck out again as this ball is played into the middle. Who can try gather possession? Kate McGrath's there trying to battle for it again. She's been very heavily involved in these opening stages, and it's one of her teammates in the midfield that gets this ball, flicks it down the line. Who's this one going to come to? It's going to come across to Emer Kerwin, but she can't keep it in on this occasion, and that ball was played down there that time by Caoimhe Prendergast, but just going out over the line, just aside the 45 on the left hand side. So going to be a sideline ball to Lismore. It's 2 points to no score as we approach the 8th minute of the first half. As we said, conditions are very trying as Lismore try to gather possession. Coming across for this one is Sinead Welch. She's a long way from goal, but she has the ball in her hand. Can she get a flick away? Does brilliantly there. Plays it into her centre forward, Nicola Marcy. Nicola drives this one long down into Emily O'Sullivan. Tries to control it first time, but the conditions again, Eddie, making it a very impossible task.
Yeah, now Sinead Welch, the corner forward for Lismore, did extremely well there in a tight situation. Played a great ball out. Unfortunately, it went out for a sideline for Lismore, but they're on the attack again here.
Yeah, ball after being slipped into Katrina Maguire here. She seems to be away. Is she going to get a chance of a goal? She's coming inside the cover, inside the 21. She gets a strike away and it's a goal. Brilliant goal there coming from Katrina Maguire. It must be said, ball is worked across. Sideline ball missed there by Brickey's. Ball worked across for Lismore and a goal. So Lismore gone up by a point, a goal to 2 points here. And we are approaching the 9th minute. Very well taken goal in these conditions, Eddie.
Yeah, and Katrina is probably their target woman in there. She scored 2-1 in the semi-final against Butlerstown from play, so they'll be looking to get more balls like that into her and get her to take on Beth Gardner at full-back. She
certainly got her account open here in the first opening 10 minutes as this high ball is played in. Is there a chance for her to get back in again? But it looks like Brickeys are going to come away with this one. Was there a bit of fouling? Referee says play away as this ball is struck long down the line. But again, Lismore, plenty of bodies as they try to get possession here with Abby Roach. Abby flicks it inside to her midfielder. Coming on to this one is Kate Mark. Can Kate get a strike away? Referee has the hand up for advantage, and it looks like he is going to bring it back on that occasion, and that's just on inside the 45 on the far left hand side. So it looks like, as you said earlier, the target woman Katrina Maguire is going to come across and take this one, but a tricky angle with these conditions, Eddie.
Yeah, I'd say Katrina staying in. It's probably Nicola Morrissey who's been their free taker, their go-to free taker all year, and Nicola has been very strong with the frees as well all year. So, you know, even with these conditions, she should get a good strike on this ball.
As we approach the 10th minute here, as Nicola strikes this one, is she going to get her account open? And that's exactly what she does. Very well taken free there coming from Nicola Morrissey. Her first score of the day coming from a free. It looks like that sun is trying to come out above us as well, Eddie. I wish the rain would go away, to be honest, but nonetheless we're back with the action as looks like Caitlin is going to hit this one. Just waiting. Referee is saying fire away, so this ball is going to be struck and she clears this one out to as far as the middle of the field, but this one is batted down by a Lismore player, but straight away flicked on by Ellen Kerwin. Can she gather possession for Brickey's? She can't on this occasion, but two midfielders there for Brickey's battling hard, Caoimhe Prendergast and Anya O'Neill, but Lismore had it momentarily. It's flicked out. Who's going to gather possession here? There's a 50-50 fight, and I think that was the right call there. Kate Hannigan seemed to be just holding the arm of Ellen Kerwin, but this one's taken very quickly by Kate McGrath. Brilliant brilliant ball inside. Oh, brilliant flick coming across there from Isabel O'Rourke. Brilliant flick. But look at the amount of bodies Lismore have back 5. Is there a chance maybe of a score? Referee says no advantage occurring, but that was a great passage of play there. Lismore, brilliant defending, but again, comes back to the brilliance of Kate McGrath, seeing that vision pass inside, Eddie.
Yeah, you know, she spotted the one and nobody from Lismore picked up, I think it was Ellen, was it?
Ellen went inside, indeed.
What a block. I don't know, was it a combination of 2 Lismore players who got back to her, but yeah, really important block or flick of the ball away. It's a free into the Brickies, I think, here. So
it is indeed, and of course it's going to be Emer O'Neill is going to take this one. You said a very highly rated underage player for the Brickies, and one to look out for the future.
Yeah, she's a very exciting prospect. I mean, still under 16, and like you see the point she scored a few minutes ago in these conditions, it's an incredible score in fairness to her.
She's just outside the 21, about 5 yards outside it. She bends, hits this off her right side, and she splits the post and makes no mistake on that occasion. So it's currently 2 or 3 points for Bricky's, 1-1 to Lismore, and we have 12 minutes gone here in what can only be described as an absolutely soaking Cappoquin Park here this afternoon for this intermediate final. Of course, Gavin Whelan from Colligan, our referee. Of course, Gavin, like myself, wears the old glasses, and I can tell you I could do with wipers here today, Eddie.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be giving in at all. I know the forecast was for a bit of heavy rain around 3, but hopefully it'll ease up maybe as the game goes on.
Brickey's back on the attack on the far side here as this ball is taken in and it's driven inside. Who can gather possession? Coming out for this one is the Lismore full-back, Shauna Prendergast. Can she find a player outside her? But she gets a strike away, looking for a free player. The ball is coming out around the middle. Brickey's player, Ema Power, just losing her footing there momentarily and gives Lismore a chance to strike a ball into Emily O'Sullivan. It seems to be a factor early on, trying to get ball to Emily to use her pace, but it must be said, with these conditions, she's finding it very hard to gather possession as Brickey's come away with it. And into the middle of the field, it is Quiva Prendergast, and Quiva's fouled, and a referee is given a free there, and it looks like a player might need a little bit of attention for Lismore, but she's back up on her feet here now. It's Emily O'Sullivan, the aforementioned player, as Kate McGrath stands over this ball as we have 13 minutes gone here in Cappoquin. And has Kate noticed another run here? It looks like she has. Brilliant ball played into the corner, and this one's going to stay in and hold up for Emer O'Neill. Can Emer take on the player? She does that. What she dragged down, referee says get up, play on. Brickey's, or Lismore attacker, a defender I should say, lost her hurley momentarily, but Gavin deemed a foul there, so it's going to be a free in, and Emer O'Neill is going to take this one. She just opened her account from a very easy angle a couple of moments ago, but this is a tricky angle for her, Eddie.
Yeah, and I know we keep talking about the weather and the conditions, but there's no giving with freeze from any part of the field really in this kind of weather. But she is a very strong free taker in fairness to her. So
it must be noted, it's interesting to see any time there has been a stoppage in play as Emer strikes this one. Is this one going to split the post? Yeah. It is indeed. That's her second of the day from freeze and 1 from play already. So 4 points to 1-1. So level game here with 14 minutes gone in Cappoquin. But I was just about to say, Chetty, it's interesting when there's a free. No one Mayorishka bringing out a towel to dry a hurley. Yeah, especially in these conditions. You think, you know, with a county final especially, freeze can be so pivotal on a day like today. Yeah, and you know, preparation is vital for these kind of days, so maybe it's something they need to think about in the second half. In fairness to Lismore, after a shaky enough start, they've really come back into it around the middle of the field, Seamus, and at times they're even getting on top of the Brickies. So it's a Brickey ball here, I think. Sideline ball in front of us, correct. Anya O'Neill going to strike this one, looking for a player inside, but coming across on this one is, and just as I was about to say it there, looks like there was a foul coming across. And Bricky's looks like they have one change as well, 17. It must be said that Jane Landers is in on the fray. Not sure who came off there.
Lismore.
Lismore, sorry, yeah, for Lismore, 17. Jane Landers looks like she is on the play of action as this ball is struck down into the corner. Again looking for Emily O'Sullivan. Can she gather possession? Again conditions, but she's turned her marker here on this occasion. Can she get a strike away? Pressure coming across. Was that a push? Referee says play away. And Brickey's great defending there as this ball is struck out. Who's going to be the first to get onto it? Coming across for this one is Emma Power, of course, number 5 on her back for Brickey's. Brickey's wearing a white strip here today, and she's looking for the aforementioned Kate McGrath, who's gone across to that side to try gather possession, but As I say it, she does get her possession this time. Is she being fouled? Referee is the hand up for advantage. There's a player inside. If she can find her, she flicks it out, but Gavin Whelan says no advantage occurring, so we're going to take it back for a free. And that was great play there from, as I said, Kate McGrath for Brickey's there, Eddie.
Yeah, I suppose Kate known for her involvement with the Waterford senior football, ladies football team, and she's having a great game actually, in fairness. She's dominating her marker at the moment, and I'd say it might be interesting for Camogie mentors here today and county mentors. I wonder could they convince her to leave the big ball for the slitter.
It was mentioned to me, it must be said, in the last day or two, as this one is struck by Emer. Is this brilliant score there coming all of about 50 yards from Emer O'Neill. That's her third free of the day, and one from play brings her tally to 4, and Brickey's are now a point to the good with 14 minutes left on the clock here. But I was just about to say, it was mentioned to me that Kate McGrath is on the women's football team for Waterford, but as you said, you can see with her fitness and her brain movement off the ball, she could definitely switch codes.
Yeah. The movement is very impressive from her there. She's getting free the whole time, you know.
We're back with play here as Brickey's try to gather this ball, and they do just that. Caoimhe Prendergast has it, gets a strike away, but it looks like Lismore have plenty of bodies. We have a player down in front of us here. We'll just wait and see if the referee does stop it for a play. But nonetheless, Brickey's are trying to go on an attack here. They're inside the 21, ground hurling. You don't see it a lot nowadays, especially with these conditions. I suppose it probably suits better, but I think the attention is going to be brought to referee of a player down here for Lismore getting attention, and that's Abby Roach wearing 12, just getting some attention there, as it looks like there was a free given for Lismore. Anyway, Eddie, a good crowd here, Eddie, despite the conditions here in Cappoquin this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, you look out the window today, I wouldn't be too encouraging to head to a match, but no, it is a good crowd, and in fairness to the players in these conditions, they're serving up a good game, a good close game. It's interesting that since Lismore's last point from the free and the goal by Katrina McGlone, they haven't targeted her at all, and there was a couple of passages of play there where she was getting on top, and there's no ball gone into her since, which now I know it's not easy to get the ball in these conditions, but I mean, a couple of long balls in there might cause a bit of chaos there for Lismore.
I think with that, in the last couple of moments, you know, Caoimhe Prendergast and Anya O'Neill are starting to get on top in the middle field for Brickey's. So maybe they're cutting out that opportunity for Lismore to go along with that ball, because as we seen a second ago right in front of us, Caoimhe managed to turn over 2 players there and get a ball down the line. So they've really started to dominate in these last few moments, Eddie.
Yeah, Caoimhe's having a very good game. She seems to be spending a lot of her time on this side of midfield, and is certainly winning her battle in there.
As this ball is driven down from the Lismore centre back, the ball drops. Who can get onto it? And it's the number 11 versus 11 here, as Kate was tracking back there on Nicola Marcy, but still Lismore have the ball. They try to work it down. It looks like it's going to be a sideline ball to Lismore. It did come off the stick of a Brickey's player. A block coming in there from the cornerback, Una McGrath, and Gavin Whelan right on top of that to make that decision, as this sideline ball is going to be taken by Nicola Marcy. And Nicola looks to see, is there any movement in front of her? A clever ball played in. Who can gather possession on this occasion? And it looks like it is it's hard to see with numbers here, but it looks like it's the corner forward is going in. Sinead Welsh, can she get a strike away? She's inside the 21. It looks like she just lost her footing at the last moment. Brickey's, can they come away with this? They flick it out again. Another player loses their footing at a vital moment, but a little bit of stalemate in here on the 21 of the Brickeys, as the ball is still not coming out of this melee. And just as I say that, Gavin decides to throw this one in. A little bit of a chance there for Lismore to get a score, Eddie.
Yeah, and I think it was actually Katrina McGlone again, who seems to be a very direct kind of a player who'll run it at the fullback or at the cornerback, whoever's marking her. I think it's a good tactic for them.
A great block there coming from the midfielder, Caoimhe Prendergast there for Brickey's, as Lismore tried to get a strike away, and Brickey's deal with this one as they strike it out. But just as I say that, a vital moment again, conditions showing as player loses their foot, but brilliant flick there coming. I think it was Eva Dwyer. You mentioned her earlier about being industrious. She certainly was that there, and a clever ball across there into the middle. Is there a chance for strike here for Emer? It's high. Is it going to drop over? But a wide ball. A brilliant bit of play there from Eve Dwyer. She dispossessed the Lismore attacker, and a clever ball into the middle there. Great use of the ball, Eddie.
Yeah, I think that's actually, is it the first wide we've had today, Seamus?
I think so, yeah. First wide so far.
There's not a whole lot of chances with the weather and that, but yeah, really good move there. And Eva Dwyer was key to it, really. She looked for that loose ball, played a great pass across, and Emer was unlucky not to score it.
Must be said, I think finally the rain is starting to come away a little bit, but straight away Brickey's again managed to gather possession, ball flicked back in to the mentioned Eve Dwyer. Can she flick it out to her midfield partner there as she's out around midfield? Cueva gets it across and that's in towards Emer. Can Emer get a chance to strike? She's a player inside her if she lifts her head, but she tries to take on two players. She's dispossessed there by Jane Landers, and Jane tries to flick it away, but now she's dispossessed by the mentioned Emer O'Neill, who tries to flick it out to herself, but she can't. Cueva's battling hard there, number 8 on her back for Brickey's, but again a little bit of stalemate inside the 45 here as they try to gather possession, and a player is after dropping the hurley, but they try to pick it up. I don't think it's a day to be trying to pick it up with your feet here today, Eddie.
No,
but as Gavin decides to throw this one in, it was actually Anya O'Neill. We wondered, does Anya play the football as well? Because I can tell you, you can see it here from the players in front of us. They are covered in mud from head to toe, and it's hard enough to pick a ball up with your hurley, let alone your feet, Eddie.
Yeah, most of these Brickey players would be affiliated with the Kilrosty Brickeys in football, so most of them would play. Now, Anya is Emer's sister, as we said already, and she's in the thick of things again here, in fairness to her.
Again, as we just say, it looks like Gavin has decided to throw this ball back in, as where he threw it in, it almost looks like a little bit of a rugby patch on a field, as if there's after been a bit of a rucking or a scrumming there, but he throws it in again nonetheless, as we have about 8 minutes left here, 8.5 minutes left in the first half of this intermediate Camogie county final up in Cappoquin, and at the moment, of course, 5 points, Brickey's 1-1 as they go on attack. Ball flicked in to Kate McGrath. She's inside space. Can she get a shot away? Is this one going to drop up and over? It is indeed. A great score. Her second of the day coming from play with 22 minutes on the clock here. Again, clever ball worked out. And I think, Eddie, the thing to mention here for Brickey's, their use of the ball has been excellent in this first half.
Yeah, it's clever movement again. I mean, Kate McGrath saw space and headed into it. And once that ball broke to Anya O'Neill, there was only one option to give it to her, and she was never going to miss from there, you know.
Great use of the ball, as we said, as Tanya Marcy is going to strike this one, as she looks to see what her options are. She strikes this one high, coming around in the middle of the field. Two Brickey's players going up together, a little bit of lack of communication. Who's going to come away possession here, as Lismore tried to get down over the ball. That's exactly what they do, and it's Jane Landers again. She has it on her stick. Brilliant solo run there from Jane. Can she get a strike away? She hits this one high in on top of Emily O'Sullivan, who tries to bat it down to herself, but Gavin says there was no advantage from a foul on Jane Landers, and she done excellently there. She soloed past two players there, and it certainly warrants her starting here today, Eddie, with 17 on her back.
She's her sister is actually number 10, I think, Clodagh. I think Brendan Landers, Sider, that just playing goal for Waterford, is their father. You can certainly see that that's a hurling household there.
Indeed, of course, Brendan would have been fighting for Landers would have been fighting for the number 1 position with my own uncle Ray Barry Lele's. He's known many years ago, so I know him quite well, to be honest. As we have a free in front of us, it's just on outside the 65, and it's going to be taken by Nicola Marcy. It's a tough ask with these conditions, but she's going to have a pop at it. She strikes this one very, very well. I think it's going to drop in around the house though, as a high ball breaks. Who can try gather possession, but straight away it's kicked out to the side by Emily Murphy for Brickey's. Can Emily get down over this ball over in the far corner? Looks like there's a little bit of a push in the back, but Gavin's not getting involved there. He's letting play develop, as a little bit of stalemate over on the far side on the 21. Brickey's trying to still get this possession. Emily Murphy still batting away hard there. Coming in to help her out is her midfield colleague is Anya O'Neill, but first time pull there from Lismore. Sees the ball in around the danger zone again. Can they gather possession? Emily O'Sullivan's over there. She can't get it. 3 or 4 players here battling. Seems to be Brickey's have the numbers, and just as I say it, they come away with possession, as this ball is played across to a very, very deep Kate McGrath there, but she plays it out towards just trying to see who has the ball here, and it's Emma Power, who just loses her foot in there. Can she manage to get a hand pass away? She plays it back to Kate again. Kate seems to be everywhere in these opening exchanges in the first half. Clever little ball played again down the line towards Emer O'Neill. Emer trying to get a strike away. Block coming across there from the full back, Shauna Prendergast, but Lismore come away with this ball. It's driven, but it looks like it's just going to come down on top of it. A free player there for Brickey's, and it's Anya O'Neill with plenty of space and time. She plays the ball, very clever ball over the top into her wing forward colleague Siobhan Lennon. Siobhan tries to get a strike away. She's half blocked. This ball is after dropping to Eve Dwyer. Can Eve get the first point of her day? But this one's just gone to the right hand side and wide. We've about 5.5 minutes left here, and it's currently 6 points Brickey Rangers. Lismore 1-1. Lismore not scoring for a long time now, Eddie.
Yeah, I'd say they have a bit of a breeze as well, do they, Seamus? Looking at the flag down in front of us here, it seems to be going from left to right as we're looking at the game. I think the Brickies are doing very well in midfield. I think they're closing off any spaces that Lismore had early in that half. And you see Kate McGrath there, she was nearly corner back at one stage there.
As Nicola Marcy gathers possession for Lismore, she plays the ball inside. Emily O'Sullivan coming across to it. Now has she a chance to open up her legs. She puts the ball on a stick, tries to take on the Brickey. She's inside the cover. Can she get a strike away? Opportunity for a goal. Brilliant finish coming from Emily O'Sullivan. I said it from the very start, they were trying to target her early on, and you could see that she's lively on her feet. She had pace, and that's exactly what she done there. She turned Emily Murphy, and a very cute finish past Caitlin Gardner, who had no chance. So it's currently 2-1, 7 points to 6 points here with 4 minutes left. A brilliant finish there from Emily O'Sullivan on the attack for Lismore. Eddie, it must be said, as Brickey's come back out with this one. Anya O'Neill coming away with this ball. Brilliant little flick inside. Great use of the ball again. This one is in towards Emer O'Neill. Can Emer get a strike away? She strikes this one, but it's going to drop. Is this one going to flick inside? That's exactly what's happened. But it's interesting, the referee is blowing his whistle. Has he given a goal or is he calling it back for a free? We're just waiting to see. I think
he's given the goal and he's just seen a shot.
He's just going he's going to give a tick, and we think. We're just waiting to see here. The scoreboard does read 1-6 to 2-1. A ball struck in there by Emer O'Neill, and it looked like Ellen Curran's fingertips might have just put the shot stopper Tanya Marcy off for Lismore there. And I think you're right. I think the goal has been given, so it's 1-6, 9 points to 2-1 with about 3.5 minutes left on the clock here. And I think there was a ticking going to be given to one of the Lismore defenders there. I think it could have been Jane Landers wearing 17. Actually, sorry, number 7, Kate Hennigan, I think, has picked up that booking as Emer gets a bit of attention. But goal to goal there, end to end. We just said Lismore didn't get a score for a few moments. Popped up with a brilliant goal from Emily O'Sullivan there. She took on the defender and she finished it very well, Eddie.
Yeah, she did. And you know, for all the play the Brickies had, that goal actually put Lismore a point up, which really goes to show that these games can change so quickly. And in fairness to the Brickies, they've come straight back and got a goal, albeit a bit fortuitous, I suppose, really coming off the hand of Ellen Curran. It still counts as a goal, so it's probably it was actually a very important score, really, in the context of the game.
I can tell you, Eddie, as an attacker myself, it doesn't matter if it comes off your toe, your ear, your head, you'll take it. But it looks like she's back up on her feet, Emer O'Neill. She's coming back out. And again, as we said, for anyone watching, you can really see the conditions. Emer O'Neill's white jersey is now completely covered in mud, just for a reference to show. But the rain has eased here, thank God, in Cappoquin, as we have about 2 minutes left on the clock here in the first half of this intermediate Camogie final. Currently, Brickies are leading. Was there a foul there? Referee says play away. It looks like there was a hurley around the neck, but he's letting play develop nonetheless. Who can come away with this one? And it's Abby Roach had that one, and it looks like Gavin has just given a free there, but it must be said Brickies could feel a little bit hard done by there. Quiver Prendergast just arguing that point too, Gavin. It looks like she was fouled around the neck, but he never called that one, Eddie. But nonetheless, it's going to be a free for Lismore here, and it's Nicola Marcy again. Seen her with a great couple of strikes earlier on in this first half. She's going to strike this one. Clever ball down the line, but is it going to be cut out by a sweeper as such? It is indeed, but just as I say, the ball drops to Emily O'Sullivan again. Then it comes across to Katrina, who tries to gather possession. Katrina McGlone can't get it herself. Little bit of stalemate here just outside of 21 on the far right hand side as the rain starts to come down again here in Cappoquin. Commentators curse, it must be said. I thought I was going to get away with it, Eddie. As Gavin gives a free in there for Lismore just on the 21, and we're just approaching half time. And Eddie, like, to really iterate to people at home, like, my programme is now after splitting in half with the rain here. It's been really trying conditions, and to be fair, it's 1-6 to 2-1, and like, even with the rain here, we have a little bit of difficulty with the camera here as this ball has just gone over the bar, and that's 2-2 to 1-6. So it's 1 point in it now with about a minute left. And Eddie, these conditions, it's been started up a really good affair, must be said, in the first half with the conditions. I know we keep harping on about it, but it is really trying here as Brickies go to mount another attack as Caitlin Gardner strikes this one long, a very long puck out, it must be said, out through the middle of the field. Was that a high challenge? Referee says play away as Nicola I should say Kate comes across to get her that one, and a little tap on the head, so referee gives a free. So it's just outside the 65. She'll be looking for the movement inside of Emer O'Neill, I've no doubt. And of course, Eve Dwyer in the other corner, but she goes in towards her full forward, Kelly Tracy. Can she get her possession? She's under pressure from the cornerback, Clodagh Cummins. But was that a push in the back? Referee says play away. This one's pulled first time again on the ground by Kelly Tracy, but that ball goes harmlessly to the left and wide. We're just approaching half time. I'd say about a minute or two to be played on here, folks. We've had a lot of frees in the first half, no serious stoppages in these conditions, which is a bit surprising, as this ball is played out quickly towards Shauna Prendergast. She's a little bit of time and space. She looks up the line. Has she got options in front for her? Emer O'Neill comes in to try block her. This ball is played down, but coming across for this one is the centre back for Brickey's, Dara Shanley. Can she get it? Dorina, I should say, tries to kick it, but she misses that one. Who can get her possession? Just gone out over the line, and it looks like it's a Lismore ball given, but I thought it must have came off a boot of a Lismore player, but we'll go with the decision of the linesman and lineswoman and the referee. And of course, lineswoman, a senior county medalist now after that victorious win for De La Salle last week. Congratulations to De La Salle winning the senior last week against Gantier, and of course Port Law winning the junior. They've been knocking on the door since 2013, so great to see two new names on the cups. And whose name will we have on the cup here this afternoon? As Gavin looks at his watch, he has the whistle in his mouth, but he lets play develop. Again, Eve Dwyer comes away with this one, flicks it inside. Who can come out and gather possession here? Ball is held up, but Eve Dwyer gets it back again. Can she find a player outside her? Brilliant use of the boot there. Kicks it inside all the way towards Siobhan. Whoa, a heavy challenge. You could hear the crowd here in front of us, the oohs and ahs, it must be said, as number 12 run in there, Siobhan Lennon. Looks like she was completely taken out, but it must be said, it looks like the Lismore defender is worse for wear after that one, and not the Brickey's attacker. But I'd say this could be the last attack of the half, Eddie, as we approach half time here. If you were either team here going in at half time, who would you say would be happier at the moment, Eddie?
Like, there's nobody out of it, I suppose, at this stage. You know, it's still a very close affair. I'd say, like, the Brickeys probably dominated a lot of possession, but really haven't pulled away from Lismore. The couple of goals have been crucial in keeping the scoreline down. So I'd imagine Lismore will be happier going in at half time, to be honest with you, Seamus.
As Emer O'Neill gets ready to strike this one just outside at 21, she puts that high and over the bar, and that makes it 1-7 to 2-2. So 2 points to the good for the Brickeys here, approaching half time, and that's her fourth free from the day, and she scored one from play, bringing her tally to 5. As Gavin says, that'll be all, folks, as he calls the half time whistle here in his a very wet, but the rain is starting to stay away here, but nonetheless 1-7 to 2-2. Bricky's ahead. It must be said, Bricky's done a lot of the early hurling here, but Lismore came back with 2 goals. Of course, one coming from, Emily O'Sullivan, and the other one coming from Katrina McGlynn. So, brilliant start here in the first half, and the crowd have certainly got a feast and money's worth for this first half in the intermediate county final. And myself and Eddie will be back for the second half. We're going to try dry off a little bit, folks. We'll be back with you for the second half here in Cappoquin. It's 1-7 Bricky's to 2-2 Lismore, and we'll see you for the second half, folks. Cappoquin, we thought it might stay away. Brickey's 1-7, Lismore 2-2 as we're just coming back with the action, just waiting on Gavin to come back out. I'd like to say, Eddie, we're here with a spare set of clothes, but we only have dry programmes at this stage. But as we were talking there at half time, Brickey's done a lot of the hurling, but it's not reflected on the scoreboard. Lismore went out of the game for about 15-16 minutes, and then of course with that goal coming from Emily O'Sullivan brought him back into it. So Brickey's maybe a little bit disappointed with the scoreboard at the moment, Eddie.
Yeah, and you know, the goal that they scored off the hand of Ellen Kerwin really probably changed both teams' half-time talks. Like it was right after Lismore got their second goal from Emily O'Sullivan. Just seeing, is there any changes here? I don't think there is at the moment.
I don't think there is, because I can't see any clean jerseys out there, to be honest, as Gavin has changed his jersey for the second half. As we're back underway here in Cappoquin, ball thrown in. Lismore straight away get on the ball, tried to drive this one is Katie Marr, but she can't on this occasion. Second time of asking, she does indeed, as the ball is played down into the corner. Who can try gather possession? Coming across for this one is Emily Murphy. Emily trying to gather it. Was she fouled? Referee says there was a push in the back there coming from Katrina McGlone. As I said earlier on, she got that goal in the first half, as it looks like Caitlin Gardner is going to come across to take this one for the Brickeys. Great striker of the ball, of course, underage with Waterford under 16 and minor, but Gavin just says just wait here for a second. I think she's telling her to go back in. She was out too far with that free, as the rain again is starting to come down, but hopefully it's just a light shower here in Cappoquin as this ball is struck out around the middle of the field. Who can gather possession? Brilliant bat there coming from Kate Marsh. She's been involved in these opening exchanges of this second half, as a fight for possession here just outside the 65, and the rain again, as I said, coming down, but a little bit of stalemate here in front of us, Eddie. Gavin has let them play develop. Can anyone manage to get possession? Again, it looks like they do get it on this occasion, and it's Sinead Welch flicks it across, and she plays it across to Abby Roach, who gets a strike away, plays the ball out to open space, and there's a race for possession here. Emily O'Sullivan racing with Rachel, or I should say Una McGrath, as I'm just handed finally, Eddie, an umbrella, which is going to make a massive difference here. Thank you very much there, coming in from one of our county board's officials, of course, Aoife Murphy, I must say. Happy De La Salle woman after last weekend. Of course, De La Salle winning the senior title and Port Law winning the junior title, but we're back with the intermediate county final here in Cappoquin, as this ball is in around the 21. Who can try gather possession? Can Brickey's mount an early attack here in the second half? But Gavin says a little bit of stalemate, so he's going to throw this ball in. As we said, no changes so far, Eddie, especially given with the conditions. Interesting to see again that it looks like a couple of players, Lismore, trying to create space inside their half back line or their half forward line, all back up the field as they race away with possession here, and it's Sinead Welch again, as Gavin has the hand up for advantage, none occurring. But as I said, it looks like Lismore gone very deep in the opening exchanges here of this.
It looks like Sinead Welch is kind of coming out as a third midfielder, I think, and in fairness, it's working. She's after getting on 2 or 3 balls since the start of the second half. The Brickeys aren't really sure what they're doing back here at the moment. They're trying to pick up players and have a loose player. I think there's a bit of a sweeper. Beth Gardner looks like she's playing as a sweeper in full back.
Is indeed, as this ball is struck low down into the corner, looking for Emily O'Sullivan again, but it's Dorina who comes across and gets a flick on that one, so going to be a line ball to Lismore. As you said, it looks like Beth is the sweeper there, and of course the sweeper system is well and truly heavily in the game nowadays. Of course, Dermot McGrath famously bringing it in 2013 for Waterford, as Brickey's come away with this one. Into the middle of the field is Anya O'Neill. She has the ball on her stick, she takes on a player. Was there a foul? Referee says play away. Has she got a loose player outside her? Brilliant ball across to Emer, sister to sister. She tries to take on a player, she loses her foot, and referee says play away. Can she get a strike away? She puts this one high. Is it going to drop over the bar? Umpire's unsure, but the white flag has been raised. Brilliant score there coming from Emer O'Neill, and that's the first score of the second half, and of course that is her 6th of the day. 2 from play, 4 from frees, and it is currently 1-8 to 2-2 here in Cappoquin, and we have 4 minutes gone in the second half here. A great score, great ball worked out, sister to sister, as I said, Eddie, and great vision coming from Anya there to pick out her sister Emer.
Yeah, and when you get Emer in space like that, more often than not that ball is going over the bar, so the Brickeys will look to keep moving moving that ball into. Emer seems to be playing out in the half forward line now. Here
she is
again
back on
ball.
the ball again. She has a little bit of time, maybe too much time. She just loses possession there at a vital moment. Lismore get bodies back. As we mentioned earlier, Sinead Welch is far out the field. She gathers possession there and tries to mount an attack for Lismore, but again it looks like Brickey's have enough bodies there across the middle as Cueva picks up this one. Cueva Prendergast, of course. Prendergast famous with Lismore, a very famous name down that way, as Lismore now have the ball as the ball is played out. Heavy challenge coming, and the referee actually says a little bit of charging there, and it looks like Anya Neal was upended on that occasion, and it's going to be a free in for the Brickies. And of course Kate McGrath coming across, she got 2 points in the first half, both coming from play, as she comes across to take this one, as it seems Emer is going to stay in around the danger zone for this one, as a little bit of tension just being given. A free run here in front of us. It looks like Bet is thrown off the shackles. Number 3, it's a bit like Gaelic football here, numbers on the back don't matter, as we see 15 Sinead Welch picking up number 3 Bet Gardner, which you don't see every day of course in the modern game. The full back, not known I suppose for going up the other end and scoring, maybe in the last couple of minutes when you're trying to win a high ball, Eddie, but not in these early stages as Bet decides to go back.
And Bet will be very strong under a high ball, and would have a very good striker ball. But here's Anya O'Neill again looking for
great flick inside, midfielder to midfielder. Cueva strikes this one. Who's going to come across? Can the ball be gathered there? It looks like on that occasion Kelly Tracy just couldn't get it under her possession to gather, but Cueva has it again in the corner, tries to get a strike across. This ball is dropping dangerously in, but it's batted out on the first time attempt from Lismore. It's flicked out, but Bet Gardner, a lot of space here in front for her. If she can manage to gather this, can she lift her head, get a strike away? She strikes in a very dangerous ball. This one's going to drop in around, but brilliant bit of goalkeeping there. Who's going to manage to gather possession? Kelly Tracy tries to get it, but Lismore come away with it. It must be said, brilliant defending there from Tanya Marcy on the goal of Lismore. Very brave there as Bet gets this ball again. She strikes it back in. A lot of numbers back for Lismore. As I said, currently only 2 players inside the opposing 65. That might go against them when they try work the ball out here, as a race for possession is on again. Was there a foul there? Referee says there was, and it's going to be a free in for the Brickies. And on that occasion it looks like it was I should say Emer O'Neill. I was going to say she's in a white jersey, Eddie, but she's not at the moment.
No, I don't think there'll be too many volunteers to wash the jerseys after today's game. Shame, they're destroyed out there, but
a free nonetheless, just about 5 yards in from the sideline. She's about 10 yards outside the 21. Tricky angle, but this would favour a right-sided free taker. And of course she had 4 in the first half, so can she make this her 5th of the day from frees? Of course 2 from play as well, 1 in either half. She strikes this one high. Has she managed to split the post? It's dropping dangerously in. Is it going to be a looks like it is going to be a 45 as the hand has gone up there, so she's going to go across and take that herself, Emer O'Neill, as Gavin signals that one has gone out off a Lismore defender. Game has gone a little bit patchy here, it must be said, in the open exchange, the second half. 7 minutes gone here, Eddie. It's currently 1-8 to 2-2. Still a point to good to Brickies, but Lismore yet to mount attack in this second half.
Yeah, and the fact that they're dropping so many players deep, it's in these kind of conditions, it's very hard to see how they're going to work the ball up there now. They are leaving their danger girls in the full forward line, and that's obviously a tactic they've decided on half time, that they're going to try free up the two girls in corner forward and full forward. That's Katrina and Emily O'Sullivan, who have scored goals.
Emer O'Neill is back with this free, 45 I should say. She bends, strikes this one, very good strike. Has she split the post on this occasion? She has again, and that's a brilliant score, and that's putting Bricky's 2 points to the good. So it's currently 1-9 to 2-2 here with 8 minutes gone. So that's her trying to add up, so 5 and 2 and 1, so she's 5 points to the good so far now. So 5 points all coming from place balls and 2 from play, so 7 points on the day for her. So 1-9 now, 12 points to 2-2 here in Cappoquin, so 8 points to 12, 4 points to the good. Bricky's open up a bit of a lead here. As we said, Lismore dropped a lot of bodies back, but it seems to be going against them here in these early stages, as Bricky's again getting a free here. Gavin on top of the action as Kate McGrath comes across. Lismore in a little bit of bother here, 4 points behind, Eddie.
Yeah, I need to start getting a bit of a a hold on the ball out midfield. They're definitely losing that midfield battle now, and Evie Dwyer is starting to come into her own in there.
Ellen Curran's after flicking this one into a dangerous predicament for Lismore. A little bit of stalemate inside the square here. Of course, we can see Gavin is on top of play, and I think he's going to throw this one in, which is a sensible call in these conditions, as we have just coming up to the 10th minute of the second half here. 4 points to good to Brickey's, 1-9 to 2-2. Lismore still yet to score in this second half, but they have a free here on their 21. A chance maybe to mount an attack as this ball is placed down, and it's going to be a struck as they're going to leave it to their goalkeeper or not. Of course, it is going to be their full-back. Shauna is going to take this one. So the ball is left down, and actually they're going to leave it now to Marie Russell, their centre-back, is going to take this one. But it looks like it's going to be a substitution for the Brickey, so we'll see who's coming into the action here as that piece of paper handed across to Gavin Whelan. So it looks like it is number 28.
It's Roisha Murphy.
Roisha Murphy coming into the fray, number 28. And
Kelly Tracy is
it looks like Kelly Tracy, the full forward, who got a point in that first half, has been replaced. So Rosie Murray after coming into the play there for Brickey's as the ball is struck out again in the middle of the field. Looks like there's a bit of a kick out, but referee says play away as Lismore tried to gather possession here. And interesting to note now is actually Katrina McGlone is out that far. She's out around the 65 trying to gather possession, but there's not many options inside as Lismore go on the attack here. Is there a chance maybe for Lismore to get a score here? Ball is played inside, dangerous ball, but just at that vital moment it looks like Shannon just lost her foot. And of course Shannon O'Keefe, who started this game instead of Shauna Kern, who is over in Vietnam at the moment. Shannon is wearing 24 on her back, but Brickey's have dealt with this. It looks like they're going to try flick the ball out. The ball is coming across. Who can gather possession here? It is Dorina, centre back, tries to win it, but she can't. She's after limping badly away from this one as Caoimhe Prendergast tries to gather this for the Brickeys, and it looks like Dorina's going to need a bit of attention there, Eddie, as a free is given out for Brickeys.
That's Eve Dwyer again winning that ball, and that's what we were kind of saying earlier, Seamus, that those kind of situations, Eve is very strong coming out with the ball and has been throughout this game, but hopefully Dorina's okay.
It looked like she maybe a little bit of a dead leg. She was limping away from that one, but as you said, the tactics applied early on in this game by Brickey's bringing Eve out, and she's been industrious in her role so far. I suppose kind of like a Graham Mulcahy role for Limerick, you would describe, a ball winner that comes out and links up play, but she's doing that very well today as Dorina just gets a bit of attention here, and a towel being brought in just to dry the hurley there as well. It must be said, take every opportunity to dry the hurley here this afternoon in Cappoquin. I said it in the first half, I don't want to say it now, the conditions are easing off a little bit. Last time I said it, Eddie, a downpour came on top of us, but hopefully it stays away for the remainder of this game as we have 12 minutes gone in the second half of this intermediate county final here in Cappoquin. The Brollies are gone down on the far side, as we can see on the bank. As we said, conditions are starting to ease a little bit, but the pitch is cutting up in front of us, Eddie. It's trying conditions for both girls, it must be said out there. Yeah,
but in fairness to both teams, they're serving up a good game for anybody that's or came in today, you know.
As Caitlin strikes this one down the line as Eve gathers it straight away and she flicks it into Emer, and looks like Gavin says again on top of the action that was a free, little bit of holding there on Emer O'Neill, so Emer's going to have a chance. She's about 45 yards out over on the right hand side here, a tricky enough angle, but again I said it earlier, a right hand side player would be suited for this free, so she's over this ball as she takes her time. She looks up to try split the posts. As Gavin looks around to see, she bends, strikes this one, just hits it, ball drops in dangerously. Who can get on this one? It's in around the danger zone. A few bodies gone to ground there. Is their first time pull maybe from Ellen Curran, who got that goal in the first half for Chewis. I should say off her hand, ball dangerously in. Is it going to drop into the goal? It's a goal. A goal coming there from the midfielder, Anya O'Neill. Of course her sister chipping in with a lot of scores here today, but a dangerous ball dropped in by Anya O'Neill there, and on that occasion Tanya Marcy, I think the conditions playing there, she tried to battle and it slipped off her hurley into the goal. So it's currently 2-9 to 2-2, a 7-point lead, 13 minutes gone here for the Brickeys. Looking good for them so far, but I think on the far side it looks like that ball has just been called out. Caoimhe Prendergast adjudged to step out over the line. A crucial goal there, Eddie, for the Brickeys.
Yeah, and I don't think Lismore have scored in this second half yet. If they don't start getting a grip on this game, it could slip away very quickly, Seamus. They need to start settling down and getting a few balls into their danger players there.
And I think what's crucial as well, they need to push up the field at this stage. With 16 minutes left on the clock. They still only have 3 bodies inside the opposing 65. You know, it must be said they have to push up the field in order to try get something out of this game, because 7 points, it's not out of sight yet. It's only 3 pucks of a ball. 3 goals, as we know, in the game can be turned very quickly. We've seen it with the 2 goals in the first half. So still a lot to be played here for Lismore in this second half, Eddie.
Yeah, definitely. I just think sometimes they're taking the wrong option. Leave the ball in. It's a slippy day. Instead of short passes, get the ball into the danger guys. They've scored 2 goals between them, so that's the place to put it into. He's after, Gavin's after giving a free to the Brickies here, I think, is he?
I think it's actually a sideline ball over the far side. Emily O'Sullivan was the judge to come out with that ball out over the sideline, so it's going to be a sideline for Brickies on that far left hand side. But it looks like she may have just picked up a knock to the head as she just takes off her helmet for a second to take some Ishka on board, as Gavin makes sure that everything is under order and in affair here, as this ball is placed down by Kate McGrath. So we'll just wait and see as players get back into their positions. Sideline ball over on that far side. I think it must be said that Brickies will be definitely the happier of the 2 here with 15 minutes left on the clock, 7 points to the good. If they game management is crucial at this stage, Eddie. They've used the right decision every time. As you said, Lismore maybe not using the ball to the best of their advantage, and Brickies definitely all good for that 7-point lead so far.
Yeah, and I know you touched on it a few minutes ago, Seamus, but they're still very deep looking, Lismore. I mean, if you look, there's nobody inside. There's 1 player inside the 45, 2 Brickey girls in there with Beck Gardner as a sweeper. It's going to be very hard for Emily O'Sullivan to do any damage in there with 2 girls on her, you know.
Indeed, and I think that's the crucial thing here at the moment, as the aforementioned Emily O'Sullivan gets the ball, and even like that, Emily got a goal in the first half showing great pace, but the danger is not going to happen with Emily out on the ball on the 65. So as Gavin brings this one in, I think for a little bit of talk back there, he's brought a free in onto the 45, so maybe an opportunity for Lismore to spark something here with 15 minutes to go. 7 points down, and this one is going to be taken by I think it's Nicola Morrissey is going to take this one, just over on the far side on the 45, so she places this one down exactly on the 45 line, so a chance for them to get their opening score with 16 minutes gone in the second half. Nicola Benz hits this one, strikes it very well. Is it going to go over? But just as we say, it goes harmlessly to the right and wide. And I think Caitlin will be in no rush to take this one, as they're currently 7 points to the good with 14 minutes on the clock. Still a lot to play for here in Cappoquin. Great crowd here for this intermediate championship final, of course. Portlaw win the junior last week in the Set2 Arena in Carriganore, and De La Salle winning the senior as this ball is played, as Emer O'Neill comes very deep to try gather possession, but it just slips out off her hurley there in the vital moment. And her marker, must be said, Shauna Prendergast, is going to take this sideline ball as she tries to pick out someone, but she's gone straight to Emer O'Neill, who fails to gather. Quiver Prendergast comes across to try gather possession. She can't. A little bit of stalemate here. Emer's in there battling as well. Can she gather possession? She does that brilliantly. Take by Emer there. She's a player inside her. She can flick it ahead of her, but she has it herself. But on this occasion now she flicks it inside, and that's gone into Siobhan, I must say, who plays it across. But Joan Landers has this 17 on her back. Gathers possession well under a little bit of pressure. The hand has gone up for advantage, but she's coming away well with this ball. Gets a strike away out towards Emily O'Sullivan, who can't gather it. Sinead Welch with 15 her back has it, and Beck Gardner for company there out around the middle. First dangerous ball inside. Is this a chance for Lismore? But as I say, to cornerback Una McGrath comes across. She's 2 Brickies players on her. Can she get this ball away inside the 21? But it looks like a little bit of pressure here from Lismore, but can they get a score out of it? Really need to keep that scoreboard ticking over as this ball is tried to gather by Lismore, but brilliant defending there from Beck Gardner, and a clash of the ash, as you can hear there in front of us, as Beck Gardner tries to gather possession, as Shona O'Keefe was in there trying to gather it with 24 on the back for Lismore. Referee says play away. Again, this ball is after being picked up by Beck Gardner. She gets a strike away this time, but only as far as Sinead Welch. Can she get down over this ball? Oh, a heavy challenge coming in there from Siobhan Lennon, and that was adjudged to be a push in the back, so going to be a free in here for Lismore, just between the 45 and the 65 here in Cappoquin. And Just want to take a quick second here to mention Daisha Og are currently seeking people to get involved in the development squads from under 13 to 16. There's a brilliant opportunity to learn and work with experienced professional teams, and of course the development squads is headed up by well-known former manager Intercounty Jason Ryan. An opportunity including coaching, management roles, team secondary, S&C analysis, and if you're interested with the county coaching officer, you can contact Owen Marcy on 087 289 96735. Of course, looking for plenty of management and coaching opportunities at the moment with the Daisha Og, a great initiative being rolled out, as it's going to be a free here for Brickey's just outside the 45 here, still 2-9 to 2-2, so 7 points in it with 11 and a half minutes left on the clock. Lismore need to push up the field, Eddie. We've said it 3 times already. Still don't seem to be doing that in this second half.
No, and they did put in a ball there a couple of minutes ago, and it caused a bit of concern for the Brickey backs. They're not doing enough of that really, and if they don't start pushing up the field, it's very hard to see them coming back from this, to be honest with you.
And here comes the rain again, folks, in Cappoquin, as there's a free for Lismore here out on the 45 on the far side, and it's Shauna Prendergast is going to take this one. She bends and strikes this one, looking for her centre forward Nicola Marcy, but she can't get her possession. But Emily O'Sullivan has it. Can she take on 3 defenders? It must be said. Ball played across towards Sinead, but Sinead can't get her. She's beaten first time by Cueva. As Cueva fouled, referee says play away. Darina seems to heal from that earlier knock, as Eve Dwyer again showing her strengths out around the middle of the field as she delivers the ball in long. But on this occasion, it looks like it's going to be Kate Maher who drives that one long for Lismore out around the middle of the field. But this one's picked up by Kate McGrath. She's lost her stick. Advantage is being played. Referee has the hand up. She plays it out towards Anya O'Neill. But again, Kate McGrath really showing her excellence there, Eddie. And I know you mentioned in the first half she plays the different code, the big ball for the county. But if you were involved with the county, you'd have to be impressed with her this afternoon.
Yeah, you know, and maybe she had a kind of a quiet 5 minutes there, 6 minutes, but bursts back onto it there, loses her hurley, but still manages to maintain control of the ball, take her girl on, draw the foul, and it's a free, and you know, a free in a good position for Emer O'Neill again, and I've been really impressed with Kate today, I have to say.
Her spatial awareness, it must be said, and her movement and her fitness and just a little bit of cute play seems to be the difference so far in these exchanges in the second half, especially with Emer as well, of course, in the corner, and Anya, her sister, out around the middle of the field. So pivotal players popping up in pivotal moments for Brickey's as this free is about to be taken. It's just inside the 65 as we hear a shout for time wasting, but there's plenty of time left on the clock, folks. I can tell you, still 10 minutes and plus added time here in the second half as this ball is struck out, and it looks like it's only going to drop as far as Emer. Can she split the post from open play? This ball has gone high and it's up and over the bar, and that's a brilliant score there, making it 2-10 to 2-2 here. 8 points to the good now. Brickey's inside the last 10 minutes, and that's her third from play, 4 from frees and 145, so bringing her tally to 8 on the day as a short puck out is taken by Lismore, driven out around the middle of the field. But Eve Dwyer is back out there again. Just as I say, the ball breaks though off her stick and Kate Maher has it. She tries to get a strike away, but she's being held there on that occasion by Beth Gardner, and it's going to be a free for Lismore. Beth seems to be a very industrious and a hard marker out there. She brings plenty of physicality to the game, Eddie, and she's sticking to her task here today. Yeah,
her sister, she's sisters with Caitlin in the goal. They also have kind of a very good understanding, the two of them, of minding the goal and the square, but she seems to be playing out the field a little bit more, and it's kind of worked because she's got on a load of ball.
A dangerous ball struck in here by Lismore, trying to work something. Ball breaks, they have it in their hand. Is there a chance? Brilliant save there from Caitlin. Absolutely brilliant save from point blank, and that one's gone out for a 45 there. Absolutely brilliant save. It looked like the ball was played into Clodagh Landers, and she gathered possession inside, took a strike just inside the 21, and a pure reaction save there from Caitlin, showing her class on the goal, Eddie.
Yeah, it was a really clever ball by Nicola Morrissey, I think, who took the free into the loose player, and you know, it's maybe something Lismore need to do a bit more of, to be honest. What a save though, in fairness, a reactionary save, and it's just the instinct of somebody that's played in goal ever since she picked up a hurling in probably junior infancy, you know.
Dangerous ball again dropped in, a tactical Lismore. This one's in around the house, but Caitlin Gardner tries to come out with it, and she's fouled on that occasion, and a brilliant couple of moments for Caitlin there. But It looks like Lismore are starting to drop the ball in here. We've 7 minutes left on the clock. Would they be better, Eddie, with the last two scoreable chances to keep that scoreboard ticking over?
Yeah, I mean, 8 points, bringing it back to 2 scores brings it back to 6 points, and then look for a goal. I mean, then all of a sudden there's only one score in it, Seamus, and nerves start getting onto people, you know, and it's certainly, I know hindsight is a great thing, but it seems to be the tactic Lismore are adopting now is that dropping the ball in or looking for goals, you know. Caitlin, obviously that saved a couple of minutes ago and coming out with the ball and getting the free there. Big couple of minutes for her.
Yeah, big couple of minutes. As we said, her striking is excellent. Her save was brilliant there, and she just picked up a little bit of a knock, but I think she'll be okay. I think it'll take a lot more to take Caitlin out of the action. But looks like it's going to be a couple of subs coming in. One for the Brickies coming in here. Just waiting to see who that change is going to be. And in fact, it's number 10, Ellen Curran, of course, that goal that came in the first half of her hand. We're just waiting to see who's replaced her there.
25, is it Mairead Meehan?
We'll wait and see now in a second who's come in there for Ellen Curran as this ball is struck out around the middle. Again, the rain starting to come down here again in Cappoquin, but Brickies have this ball nonetheless. It is flicked back inside. Can they get a strike away? And it's come on to the aforementioned substitution, who is in fact number 25, and that is Mairead Meehan, who's in the fray instead of Ellen Curran, who got that goal in the first half, bringing Brickies back into it. And of course now it's 2-10 to 2-2 with about 5.5 minutes left on the clock here in an absolutely soaked Cappoquin as the rain starts to come down again. Gavin just thrown in this ball on the 45, little bit of stalemate down at the Lismore end. Lismore need to start getting something moving here, Eddie. There's only 5.5 minutes left on the clock and 8 points in it as Emer O'Neill, who's been outstanding all day, has this ball. Can she get a strike away? She puts this one in high. Is it going to drop in around the house? And keeper flicks it out on this occasion. Who can gather possession? It looks like there's a little bit of stalemate as keepers come off her line, but Gavin says it's a push in the back, and that's going to be a free out for Lismore inside their own 21 as they pop this ball down, and it's going to be Tanya Marcy to strike this one, the Lismore shot stopper. So ball is driven out long. It's going to drop to Sean O'Keefe wearing 24 on her back. Referee says a little bit of a chop there, so going to be a free for Lismore. So a free just outside the 40, or should say 65 for Lismore here, as not sure who's coming across to take this one. We'll just wait and see. And in fact, it's going to be the centre back, Marie Russell, is going to take this one. So she places this ball down. She's going to have to strike this one long in around the house, you'd imagine, to try to get something going. The clock is against Lismore. The scoreboard's against Lismore. Brilliant take there from the full forward, Katrina McGlone. Haven't seen a lot of her in the second half. She was very good in the first half. Haven't got a lot of ball, but brilliant hook there coming from Beck Gardner. Stuck to her task there, and she done very well as Caoimhe Prendergast gets this ball away, but it's only going to drop to the aforementioned Maria Russell, who took that free a couple of moments ago. But clever little play there from Kate McGrath, holding one hurley while trying to use her own, as the industrious Eve Dwyer comes away with the ball. She flicks it out to her wing forward partner, who's Siobhan Lennon, who just loses her footing. But again, it's Evie again. She's been excellent throughout. She plays a dangerous ball inside. Who's going to come across and try to gather this one? It looks like the ball was just dropped there at a vital moment for Brickies, as this ball comes out to Emily O'Sullivan. Again, it must be mentioned, Emily is in the wrong position for me watching this game. She's out around the 45. She's the danger person to go to inside with her pace. And Lismore, I think they'll reflect on this game and say, got a couple of decisions wrong, Eddie.
Like she was really dangerous in the first half as well. I'm surprised really that they're playing this tactic, but they seem to be trying to push up the field a bit now. But in fairness to the Brickey midfield, they are stopping that ball coming out, and they won't mind giving away frees on the Lismore 45, you know, because it's very hard to move the ball up in these kind of conditions without a tackle or somebody coming in with a block. A few changes coming on for Lismore.
Yeah, it looks like Sean O'Keefe wearing 24 has just gone off there. We'll wait and see who's come into the fray for Lismore. 2 substitutions, as you said. Just waiting to see who the second player who's coming off there. I think it might be number 12 indeed. Abby Roach is coming off for Lismore as well, so we'll bring you them substitutions in a moment. Number 21, Nan Farrow, has come into the action as well, and we'll just see who that other substitution, as Brickies go back on the attack. And it's the aforementioned, of course, Kate McGrath on the ball again, trying to get a strike away, but she's blocked on this occasion. Katrina McGlone is out around the middle of the field, and referee says that's going to be a free in for Lismore. So a free in, a chance for them to try and mount something here in the latter stages. We've only about 2.5 minutes minutes left on the clock here, folks. You imagine this one is going to have to be dropped in, and the only thing that will maybe spark a revival in what's left of this game is a goal, Eddie, because the scoreboard and the time is against them here.
Yeah, I think they need to get a score, actually a goal. You're right, James, at this stage of the game to really try get themselves back into this game.
Sinead Welch tries to get her possession on this occasion, but she can't, and the ball slips in, and it's Anya O'Neill who comes away with it. Of course, her sister done all the damage up in the corner so far today as she gets the strike away. Ball is played down the line. Brilliant little flick there coming from Siobhan Lennon. Tries to get her possession, but she's under pressure. Does well to hold up the ball. Emer O'Neill has it. Brilliant flick there coming across from the wing back Emma Power. I should say Isabel O'Rourke sticking to her task there, but as I mentioned, O'Neill to O'Neill, and a free there coming for Brickies as Anya gets fouled on that occasion, and it looks like Brickies will have a momentous day here today. 8 points in it with a minute and a half. It looks like their name is going to be edged on that trophy, Eddie, as Caitlin comes across to take this free. In the latter stages here, of course, we'll look to see who our player of the match is. Eddie, your thoughts on both sides' players that have stood out today in this intermediate county final?
Well, for Lismore, there was a few candidates, particularly in the first half. I thought Emily O'Sullivan and Katrina McGlone were really dangerous when they got their chances. I thought Nicola Morrissey was very strong as well, and Shona Kern is a big loss for Lismore. Emer
O'Neill coming in with another brilliant point there from play, Eddie, as I just cut across you momentarily. But surely she must be one that must be on the list.
For the Brickies, I suppose. Emer, obviously, that's 9 points for Emer. I think it's 5 from frees and 4 from play. And some of those points have been extremely wonderful scores, really, on a day like today. Top Beck Gardner and Anya O'Neill were excellent as well, and Quiva Prendergast. Evie Dwyer, I think, stood out for me as probably the most influential player in the game, aside from maybe Emer scoring all the scores. I don't know how you feel about it, Seamus. But,
I completely agree with you there. I think it's always the player who gets a lot of the scores will get the applaudits or the aforementioned, but it has to be said Evie Dwyer has been absolutely outstanding, being a link-up player all day, worked very hard, especially in these conditions. But again, Emer O'Neill has it, but she's fouled on this occasion, and it's going to be a free. So currently 2-11 to 2-2, 9 points to the good here, Brickies, and must be said, added time we're into now as full time has just come. So normal time is up, but it'll be interesting to see what Gavin plays on here. Gavin Whelan, of course, from Colligan, our referee this afternoon, as Emer places the ball down. I think, to be honest, Eddie, we will go with your own decision there. Eve Dwyer is going to be our player of the match. Although Emer's done a lot of scoring, it must be said, Eve has been absolutely industrious in these conditions here today, and she is our player of the match for this intermediate final, as Emer strikes this one high and up and over the bar, and that brings it to a 2-12 to 2-2. So 10 points to the good here now, and that brings it to 10 points on the day. 6 coming from place balls and 4 from play. 2 added minutes added on here in Cappoquin as the rain has eased off again, Eddie. We've said it a lot now. A bit late now indeed, but nonetheless it's been a brilliant occasion here and a great spectacle. And of course, to everyone, I know there's a lot of people from Brickies, of course, in Chicago, and also the McGraths out in Australia, of course, the little twins, Ellie and her sister, of course, watching over there, Niamh and Aisling. So we wish them the best of luck, and hopefully they're enjoying this, and they are certainly happy with the result. I'd say here as a ball is dangerously played in. Can Lismore keeper control it? It looks like that might have just spilled over the line, but she does very well there, Tanya Morrissey, to get her possession, and it's going to be a free out. Very well there with trying conditions. So another substitution, subs rolling on here for Brickies and Lismore. Looks like number 5 is going to leave the fray, Emma Power, as she's being replaced. We'll just wait to see who's come into the fray there, and it's actually it's number 20, and that is Ava Healy coming into the fray for the last remaining moments, as Tanya Morrissey is going to take this one here. As Gavin takes a look at his watch, as we said, there was 2 minutes of added time added on here in Cappoquin as this ball is struck out down the right hand side. Who can get her possession in the late stages of this game? Beck Gardner is battling away hard there. She has done all game. She manages to get her possession. Can she get a strike away? She was under a little bit of pressure there from Katrina McGlone, but she got the strike away, and looks like it's going to be a line ball. That's going to be a line ball to the Brickies here in the latter stages of this intermediate championship match. Myself and Eddie have got an absolute soaking here this afternoon, folks. We changed our programmes at half time. Gavin changed his jersey, but I can tell you every jersey out there at the moment is absolutely destroyed, and especially Emer O'Neill's. I wouldn't be like to be watching that one, especially a white jersey here in Cappoquin. Of course, Brickies had to change their traditional, and of course the oldest club gets to wear their colours. That's the rule here in Waterford. As straight away on the attack for Brickies is the Rosie Murray, the substitute wearing 28 in her back. She's under a lot of pressure. Can she get a strike away? Does brilliantly well to get a strike away, and that's up and over the bar, and she gets her name on the scoreboard.
I think it was Emer O'Neill actually took the shot. Rosia kind of got a flick over to her. Emer actually scored there.
It was indeed. So that's 11 on the day from her. So 6 coming from frees and 5 from place, or 6 from place balls and 5 from play. So she's certainly tallied up her account here this afternoon, as it's now 2:13 to 2-2, and that's the final whistle from Gavin Whelan, as Brickies are crowned the intermediate champions of the county for 2022 in an absolutely soaked Cappoquin. Brilliant delight here in front of us from the Brickies girls on a scoreline of 2:13 to 2-2, coming out victorious by 11 points here. This game looked like it wasn't going to swing such a big lead in the second half, but it must be said that Lismore had plenty of chances in the second half but couldn't take them, and Brickies fully deserved winners here, Eddie.
Yeah, I think so. In fairness, you could see the tactics at a very early stage that Evie Dwyer was dropping out around the middle of the field, trying to create that space for Emer and Kelly Tracy in there, and it worked. It took a few minutes or a few balls in to really get going, but I think, what did you say, Emer ended up scoring in the end? 11 points?
11 points in the end, yeah. 6 from frees.
You know, Emer's under 16, you know, that's an incredible return from a 16-year-old in an intermediate county final against a really strong Lismore team. Like, it has to be said, you know, the 2 best teams in the championship, they both deserve to be here, and congratulations to the Brickey Rangers for winning it, and commiserations to Lismore, who I'm sure will be back, and Lismore are absolutely flying underage as well, James. I think, you know, they're playing A competitions across the board, they're winning A competitions, competing with the De La Salles and the Galtiers of the world. So this club will be back, and will be back very quickly in the senior grade in this county. But congratulations to the Brickies, and you know, for a team that was junior 2 years ago, that's a really wonderful achievement.
Indeed, and it's great to see for the future. As we said, Emer O'Neill is only 16, and you know, if I was part of the Waterford management, the new Waterford management, of course, I would be looking at Kate McGrath and Emer O'Neill, most certainly, and Anya O'Neill, to be honest, if we could manage to convince Kate to drop the big ball for the small ball. But yeah, brilliant game here in Cappoquin in what were very, very trying conditions, as we see the Brickies celebrating their win, as the Lismore team there, of course, not to be their day today, but as you said, doing great work underage. And of course, that wraps up everything here this afternoon, folks. Portlaw, the junior champions for 2022, De La Salle, the senior champions, but the important one here today, Brickey Rangers champions for 2022 in Waterford Camogie, and we'll get the cup presentation in a couple of moments, folks. But for myself and Eddie, I want to thank Eddie for his contribution today here. Of course, Eddie has a smile on his face after this. He would be associated with Brickies. I know he has a bit of involvement, a family involvement with Brickies, as Noel Brown steps in to take a photo. A big cheer coming from Brickies, and we'll be back to you with the cup presentation in a couple of moments, folks.
Dinusil Corticaler Tá Fáilteoireacht Again today. Players, spectators, it's my pleasure on behalf of Waterford County Board to welcome you all here to our Intermediate County Final 2022. I'd like to start first by thanking Cappoquin Club. I know when I phoned them earlier in the week there wasn't a problem, and I'd like to thank the groundsmen and all of them for their help, for making their pitch available. It really is appreciated when we couldn't get far field. And I know when it was two All West teams, they weren't too keen to come to the city. So a big thank you to Cappoquin. I'd like to thank Gavin and his match officials for a job well done, and to Rua and the team for the streaming. Always great group to deal with, and thanks to the guys who did the commentary also. To our sponsors, Aricus, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. And all the media who cover, and also Noel, our photographer, thanks for giving us this exposure and this coverage today. This is really important for our sport. I'd like to thank all of the committees, everybody who's working hard towards promoting Waterford Camogie, in particular our fixtures committee, who so far have put a programme of over 400 games. I think it's 420 games we will have had this year, and that's really fantastic. We're not finished yet. We've minor to play out, 13s and 15s, so that's really good. But today it really is about the players of Lismore and the players of Brickey's. You're the standard bearers, you're the role models in your clubs, and that really is important. You know, it's great to see so many young girls wanting to play camogie now at 8s, 10s, the whole way up 12s, all the grades. And I know to Lismore you're disappointed, but you really have been the standard bearers for Waterford Camogie over the years. In a relatively short space of time, you've won all the honours. I know Fela, all the way to a Club All-Ireland, and there are many players on the field there today who've contributed hugely to Waterford Camogie and will continue to do so, and so many people associated with Lismore Camogie. I'd like to thank them and say really well done. You contribute hugely to our intermediate championship, and I know you'll fight hard to get battle back and be in a final for 2023. But to Brickey's, I applauded you last week. I mentioned you in the senior county final. At the senior county final we talked about having 8 senior teams by 2024, and I know Brickey's are one of those teams who are have that ambition, and winning a junior championship only 2 years ago, and now to be in an intermediate final and to win it as well is really fantastic, and it's a huge tribute and a huge, you know, down to all of you girls and to all of the people who are doing a huge amount of work. I won't start naming any of them because I probably leave people out, but well done, and huge congratulations on your win. So without further ado, I'd like to call on I think it's Kelly, number 14. And on Kelly.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, we have to.
Okay, well, how do we move it?
Hang on there. Oh, what do we do with
I don't know, we're gone a bit awkward here now.
Yeah. And thanks to all the supporters. I know it's been tough, the conditions has been tough, but we got there. So Kelly, over to you.
I'll keep this short and sweet. I think we've all seen enough rain for today. First of all, I'd just like to thank the county board and the refs, umpires, anyone that was involved with the running of this game. You don't get appreciated enough for what you do. It's a tough job, and I don't think anyone envies your position. So thanks very much for that, and for Cappoquin for the pitch. You have the pitch in good condition compared, like, the rain didn't help obviously, but thanks very much. To Lismore, you can see, I don't think this thing is working, but for the stream, sorry. You can see from your reaction after that game how much this meant to you. For the last 15 years or so, you've been a formidable force in Waterford Camogie, and you still show that you have that determination and heart today. I think we can all say that we looked up to Lismore over the past few years, and thanks very much for a good clean game camogie. You fought hard right till the end, and hard luck today, girls. Just 3 cheers for Lismore. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. I didn't prepare this properly, but I think supporters are next. Supporters and everyone who's followed us throughout the year, thanks so much for attending our matches. It means so much to have people there at our games. Camogie, doesn't really get too many spectators, but to see people there time and time again through the good and the bad days, it really does mean a lot to us and does keep us going. So thanks very much for that. To our own management team, Alan, Ronan, Owen and Dermot and Joni and Siobhan, lads, what you've done for us this year is unbelievable. You've given up your time, you've dedicated everything you had to us this year, and with one goal in sight, which was to get to an intermediate county final and to win it. You've really put in, I don't know where I'm going with this, but but look, we can't thank you enough, lads. We're not the easiest bunch of girls to look after and to train, but you stuck with us and you never gave up on us, and you believed us every step of the way, even when sometimes we maybe didn't. So thanks so much for all you've done. It really doesn't go unnoticed, and we can never thank you enough, lads. Oh yeah. Just want to thank my own team there before they take the mic off me. Lads, I'm so proud to be here today representing you as your captain. I can't believe you asked me to do it again after, but I really do appreciate it. You're an unbelievable bunch of girls, both on and off the pitch, and you deserve every moment of success. I can't wait to see what senior holds for us next year, and also Munster in 2 weeks' time apparently. We'll worry about that next week, but girls, you deserve every minute of this. You've worked from, I think, the 22nd of February. Is it 9 months ago? We started training? January? Clearly not there, but look, girls, you've worked so hard for this. We had one goal in mind, and we set out and we achieved it. So well done, girls. This is for you. On to Brickey!
Thanks, Kelly. I'll just get in.
That was about 30 seconds, I'll tell you, alright? You know? Yeah, 30 seconds. Yeah, alright, okay. Having the ambient sound on, have you? I have ambient on your one now. Yeah, that's it, that's the way, yeah. Okay, yeah, get that, yeah.